Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
All
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
All right. Welcome back to Boring Reviews on our journey. Nick here.
Gabe! Tripathi. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Oh, bro! I'm telling you, I don't know what's going. I'm getting scared, Nick, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we got a whole bunch of people that told us, it's good. It's not as good as the first season. We had a whole bunch of. I don't know what the hate is, bro. I don't know. So
What are they expecting?
Now, I have a theory. Newly formed.
Oh, wow. This is the best kind.
Sopranos is probably one of the greatest shows of all time. But whenever you hear of a Sopranos, what do you hear?
About how the finale sucked.
So the finale sucked. Game of Thrones is probably one of the most successful HBO series of all time. I don't care who you are. You know Game of Thrones. Even if you're not a fan, you know about the Daenerys. You know about, Daenerys watches super hot. But you know what I'm saying? You know about the Game of Thrones and what's all people talk about?
Actually, I know nothing about Game of Thrones, so I'm not going to lie. But I want to say that the last season was not that good. Right?
Last season, and not even the last season, last few episodes, they took a really, spoiler alert, they took a really big turn, and our hero that we've been rooting for the entire season, the entire show, at the end, she turns bad, and then she ends up killing our other main.
Spoil it in case I ever do watch it. Oh.
Bro, it's crazy, like what they did to her character. So maybe that's what it is. Like this last episode 10 must be so bad, or they went out on limits. What they did that really ruined the season, because I'm loving this season, man. Episode 9. Oh my gosh, Mirzapur. Nick, so many thoughts. Right off the bat, I gotta say, Muna is a ruthless, bro. He's a gangster. Now, people are gonna say, Gabe, but he messed up. Yes, he did messed up. But it's Muna. What do you expect from Muna? Okay? He doesn't think there's ever gonna be any repercussions for his actions. He should have handled it better. And I'll be honest, I didn't see this coming. I kind of missed it, okay, earlier in the episode when they talked to him about when he said, yeah, Makpul is dead. What's his name is dead, but Bar's dead, and Makpul killed him. And they kind of all looked at each other, and they were like, okay, because nobody told him. So he must have just seen the look on their face and said, what? What's going on? And because did you see this coming?
Did I see what he about the whole Babar thing? Did I see that coming?
Yes.
You knew the lie was going to catch up to Makpul. You did. You knew that lie was going to catch up. And not just that, but not only did he not take him out, he thought he can just keep him locked up in there. Maybe you're right. Maybe he was feeding him some food, but you're not going to show your face or whatever. I don't know what his end game was, because you're going to keep him hidden for the next several years and never show his face. But Bar gets out. Makpul, as far as we know, he's never searching for him because he gets away, right? He was sloppy with that whole thing. He had an order to take out his nephew, as cold as it is, and how hypocritical it is from Colleen, who will not even think about sacrificing his son. And I understand his son and a nephew is a different thing, but I don't see Colleen doing that. In this episode, you have a whole bunch of bad mistakes. You have a whole bunch of crazy decisions, a whole lot of ruthless mistakes. My biggest complaint with this episode, and it's not a big one because I really did enjoy this episode, is we went 2 steps or 3 steps forward with Muna, and then we went 3 steps backwards today. I had mentioned my favorite thing, and I started rooting for Muna in episode 8, was the fact that he had that heart-to-heart with his wife, and he had that moment of clarity. Yeah, I got to use my head, not my heart. And we see him go in and take out that witness right away using his head. I got to take this guy out, tell her you're fine. Any last wishes? Boom, I'm going to take you out so there's no witness whatsoever. That was him using his brain.
Yeah.
But then we see way too much of him using his heart when you're talking about where he's talking to his men, and he thinks it's like Christmas Day. I am giving you guys such a gift. Here's your free guns because you followed me. And they almost seem like ungrateful for it, and he's getting so agitated. No, I did this. Not my dad, not anyone else. This was me. And then the guy's clowning him. And the guy's like, I just don't understand, blah, 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 the whole bar thing. And then he gets super emotional. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But to answer your question in a very long way, I did not see that coming, but I was very disappointed that it came because I thought we were getting a new elite evolved Muna, at least a little bit, right?
I mean, but here's the thing. I think he thought it through with the exception of why do it in the house with the old lady there? Okay, because you're gonna leave it. Well, she's a mute, and it's not like she's gonna testify because that's Makpool's mom or whatever. But you could catch him coming out of the house or whatever. You know what I mean? Wait for him outside. I don't know why you have to go in there and do it. So but you're proving a point because you're losing respect on the street, not because of the gun situation, but because somebody who betrayed you is still out there. So he did the right thing. He had to go take out Babar. He didn't have a choice. Okay, you're losing cred on the street because of this, and cred is everything.
But what I'm saying, and to your point too, what I'm saying is he did it without really fully thinking about how he was going to do it. Like you said, he should have done the house, but he wanted to use the mom as like an extra intimidating fact. He really wanted to shove it to Babar for not being on his side, and he was going to use the grandma as that was my thing with the whole emotion thing. Why not plan? You think that's the way Dada or Junior or Senior would have handled it? Probably not. You think that's the way Colleen would have handled it? Probably not. You think Makpool would have handled it that way? Probably not. Right?
No, for sure. They would have got Babar on the way out or followed him. But again, it's a mistake. It was a mistake what he did, and even later on, after Makpool comes home and finds this situation or whatnot, obviously. What tripped me out, one thing about it is, was it Muna that wrote in the diary about loyalty? I hope that wasn't Muna. Because
it was.
Oh, my God.
They were showing him hold it the entire time. Is this his diary? Is this his diary? And yeah.
Oh, my God. So if you wrote a message basically to Makpool saying, yeah, I killed your mother and your nephew, now you're out of control. But I love Muna because he's a loose cannon or whatever, bro. I can't believe he killed the old lady. But again, it was in the heat of the moment because she grabbed his arm. And now Babar's going for his gun, so it's do or die at that moment. You know what I'm saying? He even, after he shot her, he showed remorse. It's the only time I've seen Muna show remorse, because even he said, he dropped the expletive. He was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I killed this old lady. So it was like, even if it's not remorse, he knows if this was a mistake or whatnot. True. But with that being said, it's a big part of this episode. Now it happened at the end, but it was so huge that I had to go back to it because it was the most exciting part to me of this episode. But some other stuff happened, and bro, this is betrayal on top of betrayal, bad decision on top of bad decision. I don't know where to start
if I can, let's just put a bow on this one, because we have an ending the episode, and I love the ending where you got Makpool walking up to the house with his gun, and you can see two guards like outside, but they're so used to seeing Makpool, the head of security, with the gun, they don't even blink an eye. Yeah. He's able to go in. I'm curious, are they willing in episode 10? I have not seen even a second of it. Are they willing in episode 10 to have Makpool drop anybody, or is it going to be a weak thing where he gets dropped and no repercussions come of it? I think you have to have some kind of repercussion, even if it's an injury or something. I don't know. What I don't want to see, even though she's evil and conniving, I don't want to see anything with that baby, anything happen to that, because I can't see that. Even if it's a show, I don't want to see that. But with the whole Makpool thing, when he's at the funeral, I mean, this guy, he's got his whole religious, outfit on, right? He's got his clothes, he's got his ceremonial, all that kind of stuff. Paying respect to his mom. You can tell that this guy, who is ruthless in his own right, this guy who's taken out so many people in the name of Colleen and whatever else, doing it for a job, this guy is completely reverent for his mom's funeral. Colleen, Baoji come in, and, Colleen does the best he can because he sees Makpool as below him, literally sees him as below him in many different ways. The best he can to give her his condolences or this or that. And I just want to let you know, I was the one that ordered the hit. The whole thing that happened was unfortunate, but I ordered the hit. You messed up. You were supposed to take out the bar. I had to clean it up. I sent Muna. That was my call. No hard feelings. Nothing but respect to your mom, blah, blah, blah. And then he walks away, and they had that conversation where, yeah, Muna messed up. This is not going to be good. But there's so much hubris in that. There's so much elevation of status where I am better than you. So you don't really deserve a full explanation or apology, even though you've sacrificed your whole life for me and your morals and everything else. You've done it for me to keep me safe. That was jacked up. And what do you think a guy like Makpul, who's got nothing else holding him back now? Nothing else. I mean, he was going to take out Babar, but the mom held his arm, and he's got nothing to hold him back. What do you think is going to happen? Big mistake by your boy Kaleem.
Bro, I'll do you one better, bro. At least Kaleem said, listen, I know what it's like to lose a parent. He's trying to be empathetic. The old man is an absolute savage, all right? Grandpa Tripathi's out of control. Because what did he say? Sometimes bullets find people. Something, because he's like, was my mom also a part of this? And he goes, sometimes bullets find unintended people. Like, he was so callous about it. And he said, remember, the reason you became loyal to us, because I saved your mom. So it was just one Tripathi taking the life that another.
Just gave you some more years with your mom. You're so lucky,
bro. They should have killed him right then and there. And you're right. This is Kaleem's biggest mistake, because they both get in the car, and the old man, they've got people with him. Makpul has no gun on him. He's in grieving. You could have just, bro, send somebody right now, like, yo, go pop him in the back of the head right now. I'm sorry. That's what I would have done as a gangster. I'm not letting you come back, because I know eventually this grief is going to pass, and you're going to explode. It's going to be rage. Now, I am way too confident and way too much hubris if I'm thinking that I just disrespected you. Your mother died, your nephew died, and you're just gonna be okay with it. Absolutely not. That was, to me, was crazy. And the grandpa says that was a mistake, and Khalid said, yeah, it was a mistake. Muna really messed up, but they leave it like that. This is all their mistakes. This is them thinking they're too big for their britches, and that Makpul is so loyal that he's gonna forget the fact that you just killed his mother. Forget about his nephew. You killed his mother. Unacceptable.
And talking about the Tripathis, I mean, let's get into them some more. We had a whole hot mess. I mean, you get the soap opera, you get the drama of this family. You got Balaji yelling because it's too spicy. Where's my water? Where's my water? You got Balaji being, once again, the creepy old man, where you have the servant girl come in. You're gonna give him a massage, lock the door. I mean, this poor woman, she was abused by Muna. And now it's the old man. I mean, this guy is just ridiculous. You got Bina, where the baby is born, the baby's healthy, and she won't even let Muna even get near the baby because she's assuming Muna's going to go after her. And I'll ask you in a second, but there's just so much things going on with the family. You got Kaleem, who looks like he's losing control of all these different situations. And you got Kaleem with the daughter-in-law, right? We'll get to that later. That's a different storyline. But let me ask you this. Do you think Muna has it in the front of his mind right now, at least, to take out a baby? Do you think he would stoop that low right now? Is Bina being a little too paranoid?
No, Bina's not being paranoid at all. Why? Wow. Because this family is absolutely nuts. And again, she sees the tension between Kaleem and Muna, period. Okay, so this is his father who he loves, and you can see her feeding Muna some little morsels, trying to put them both against him, and going back, telling the dad, like, oh, you better be careful with him, because you know what I'm saying? She's feeding the dad some fire, right, as well. Like, bro, I don't think she is. It's funny though, in the hospital at the beginning of the episode, right, the baby's born, and like you said, she doesn't even want Muna holding the baby. The dad holds the baby, and he's like, who does the baby look like? And then you see everybody in the room whose face was there. You see the grandfather, like,
me.
You see his face.
Me.
Then you see her face, like, and then it's Butler Boy that goes, oh, he looks like the mother. But it was like one of the wildest, craziest scenes right there. It was like, who's the baby look like, or whatever. Like, yo, Kaleem, I almost hate the fact that they're making him seem so weak. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. If there's one person who this season I think has lost some stature in my eyes, it's Kaleem. And maybe it's because they're setting him up to take the fall or whatever. But from not knowing what's going on in your own house to now letting Muna make this big mistake, to letting Makpul basically live after you just know you created an enemy, you're just making too many mistakes. You let JP Yadav play you. Okay, we're gonna get down that storyline in a little bit, right? But it's super interesting. That hospital scene was super interesting. So right after that, the hospital. Anything else you want to talk about when it comes to that hospital scene?
No. I mean, it kind of actually took me out a little bit. Those parts. I don't get the spicy thing. I don't get that whatsoever. I think Bina's, or maybe the maid is just kind of messing with them, like she's mad at him, so she wants him to suffer with the spicy thing. You're not getting your water. I don't understand what that was about, besides maybe mind games. It was a weird, awkward scene, at least for me. I don't know what that was. And it was funny too, because he's complaining about the spicy, and then what is he doing to get some water? Next bite into the food. I mean, this guy, he's just ruthless. But no, I'm good with that. Let's talk about the daughter-in-law. Okay, let's talk about the political aspects, because she drops a bombshell, right?
Well,
She
before
drops a
that,
bombshell.
remember what happens right after the hospital scene? We were talking about JP Yadav's fall. Who orchestrated JP Yadav's fall? Colleen. Remember, he's in the car with the girl, and
Right.
he's in the car, and she says, "Remember," he said, "there's more money in there than you asked for." And she goes, "Oh, I didn't do this just for money. You need to give me a position in the government as well." So obviously, Colleen had his fingers in this thing the whole time after they found out that JP Yadav was the one that had the chief minister killed. My question is, who does this girl think she is? You just threatened the Don. I don't get it. Take your money and run. You're not getting in government. Bottom line, you're not getting the position.
Because she had her chance. You know, she panicked when she took out JP Yadav when she did. She saw the writing on the wall. It wasn't a clear-cut guarantee that he was going to see her on the way out. It was looking that way, right? It was looking that way. And so she put all the eggs in. You're right. I didn't pick up on that. I really didn't. She put all the eggs in the Colleen Bayala, whatever his last name is, Tripathi's basket. She's got to put herself out there and say, I still want a position in government, and I want respect. I want respect. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know who she thinks she is. But he's assuming, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous on his end to assume when he's the newest, the freshest cabinet member. It's ridiculous for him to assume that they're all going to fear him so much that they're just going to make him the next CM. Like it wasn't even on his radar 2 weeks earlier. And now he expects this. The thing to me, and this is me not understanding Indian politics or the fictional politics that are created in this show, I don't understand how just because you're the daughter, it's not a monarchy, how you're the first person most obvious to just vote. You had an election, right? So, and what I'm getting cloud on is an American, politics and democracy and whatever. There's a line of succession. So if this person goes out, this person's the next one. They have the whole thing planned out.
Yeah.
For the chief ministers, maybe they don't have anything that well planned out for a chief. I would assume they do. I don't understand. But anyways, they have a meeting. Who's going to be the next chief minister? Tripathi thinks it's going to be him. He thinks she's going to, endorse it, all that kind of stuff. And she throws a curveball, and she's like, I am going to be the next chief minister. I'm my father's daughter. I know what's going on. I know my uncle messed things up, but I'm the most logical choice. And I want you guys to support me. I want you guys. I will bring honor back to the party. And this is the best move right here. They're going to see a strong woman in position and power. It's going to bring respect back to the party. And I want you guys to endorse. And they're doing their little endorsing by hitting the table. And then she goes looking for the blessings from her father-in-law. And he violently takes her arm away. I mean, this guy is a savage. And you were right. You said a few episodes, he is just pretending to be nice to her to get what he wants.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I see that, I think about Bina and I think, okay, you deserve what you get because you guys are all jacked up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you right now, okay, because they show in the flashbacks when everybody's banging on the table, they show that she was actually listening to the conversation that he had with her uncle JP Yadav. And not one of them on the night of her dad's death cared whatsoever that the chief minister died. JP Yadav was gloating because, he's going to be the next chief minister. And Colleen is worrying about he just lost his power. He just lost his business dealing. So she was reflecting on all that. And I love her dynamic. I love her dynamic with Muna. I am a little concerned that she thinks she's going to be able to just take that job and just because she put him on the spot and said, please respect my wishes. I like how she did it too. And then she's like, it's in front of everybody. What are you going to do now? But this is a gangster. They handle things a little differently. And the fact that he grabbed her hand like that, if I'm her, I'm going back and saying, hey, your dad's upset because of this. I think I was
surprised that didn't happen either. It's not like Moon is on good terms with his dad. I was shocked by that too.
I would go to Muna so he could protect me because Muna does care for her, and you see that later on in their interaction. And I really I'm rooting for Muna now because of her too. You know what I'm saying, dude? So I'm like, I've been rooting for Muna regardless the entire since the Red Wedding. I like to call it the Red Wedding. Excuse me, but it was absolutely crazy. But that was another cool storyline there, and I'm thinking to myself in this show. There are no more redeemable characters. There are none. That's the point of Mirzapur, okay? Because the next storyline we're gonna visit is the storyline with Gulu, right? So she sees that Guru is kissing the
Lala's daughter.
Lala's daughter, the Shubman girl, and she gets upset, carries the phone, and calls Junior, right? She calls Junior, and she's like, "Hey, want to have sex?" She's like, That's a question you don't need. Yeah, that's a question you don't even. That's a question you don't even need any. What? Click, hang up before I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'll be there yesterday. And you know. It was so funny, that interaction, because then he gets there and then she's like, gives him the belt and tells her to beat it. Like, yo,
Rambo or something.
Yo, she's taking the whip and she's asking for it. Bro, they're all damaged. There's not one character in the show that is not damaged, that is not flawed. Maybe that's what people don't like about it. But to a certain extent, man, there's some ugliness in everything. And especially when you're talking about this height of power, this height of politics, this height of gangsters. You don't get where you're at by being nice, all right? They're not picking flowers, all right? This isn't a prayer contest over here. These are like people that are in the highest rungs of society. So they've stepped over some people, they've stepped over some skeletons in order to make it where they're at, man. And
you know what's interesting? I didn't mean to cut you off there. Sorry. I was trying to get like a little signal there. What's interesting is, and I'm talking about just film, all right? I'm not talking about life and society. And just in film, traditionally you have female characters, maybe not the last 5 years, but traditionally female characters are written as characters who allow themselves to be controlled by the man, allow themselves to be controlled by their husband, right? This character of Junior, he is that character, okay? He is controlled by his dad. He is controlled by his older brother, by just a few minutes older brother. And he even says, "Thank you for letting me be in control in this situation." "You're not in control," Golu says. "I am always in control. You were in control because I put you in control." This guy, he looks to be, pushed around, so to speak, looks to be controlled. And it's an interesting gender swap of roles. And I am not the first person or the last person to say it doesn't have to be one way or the other. I just think it's interesting that, once again, this show, with their writing, they're willing to go in any type of avenue. They're not really following too many tropes. There's going to be some common tropes, yes. But I just thought that was a hilarious scene because he's sitting there being a typical man, proud of himself. And yeah, I was in control. No, you're not. I'm always in control. And then she pieces out.
Out.
Savage. Gudu. I was shocked when he started making out with Shubnam. I did not think he was interested, but obviously he got over his whatever. Obviously he's still a man. Obviously he's feeling empowered. And maybe that was like his victory lap. I have no idea. But I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen in episode 10 because everything I think is going to happen, even the small stuff, does not end up being true.
Well, here's another thing we see is going to happen. Lala gets upset, right? We've been saying it from the beginning. Lala gets upset because Lala saw what happened. Even he's got eyes in his house, okay? This is his house, all right? He knows that, and he knows his daughter's a part of this too. But Lala's like, when Golu comes back from doing her business, and normally thinking about it, the whole trope is the woman was the one that wants to be romantic and stay and cuddle. She's like, "I'm good. I got my rocks off. I gotta go later, dude." You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, left them like a puppy. She is out of control. So she comes back, and Lala says, "Yeah, let me talk to you. Gulu's getting too close to my daughter, and that's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna be acceptable." And she goes, "What do you want me to do about it?" He says, "What do you expect me to do about it?" Is what she said. And she goes, "Nothing. I just want you to know because you're the smarter of the two. And I don't want you to, how do you phrase it? I just want to tell you before something happens." So you would think that immediately she would go and tell Godu, right? And Godu like, "Yo, you about to get yourself killed, cousin," or whatever. But she doesn't do that. she don't do that. She just goes and spasses at him like, yo, you're losing your focus or whatever because, you know, this girl and this love is taking in your focus away from the revenge. And he's like, look, this love is, you know, why I still want to live and why I still, you know what I'm saying, want to have my revenge. And I mean,
I never lose focus. I never have my eye off the prize. I am never going to stop because I'm doing it for them. Right. Yeah, that was a powerful moment back and forth because you would think he'd be like, yeah, you're right. No, he's like, no, I'm never going to lose my focus. This is what I want.
And then almost in the next breath, you see that Lala's meeting with a junior and the dark chocolate dealers. And Lala's like, look, that's my dark chocolate you guys are selling. I'll give you a better price. Let's just cut out the middleman or whatever. But Junior is so wrapped around Golu's finger. And I don't know if it was just good timing or this is probably part of the reason she did what she did with him. But it's like, oh, they got to be a part of the deal. And if not, you don't sell dark chocolate in this town. And he's like, and I thought I thought that your question didn't even need an answer, which is why, you know, I thought you were smart enough that I could get an answer. Now he's disrespecting Lala. Like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cutting them out of the deal. There is no deal without Golu and Godu. So Lala's already trying to make moves. He's going to try to take out Godu. I told you this was coming. He's trying to cut them out of the deal. Now no middleman. I don't need them to sell my product or whatever. And I will grin and bite the anger I have for Colleen because my son-in-law was killed before I allow this dude to walk around my house with my daughter. That's not going to happen. And you know what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But when my enemy also becomes my enemy, you know what I mean? From within. And I told you, Guru's making mistakes, man. Godu's making mistakes.
It's all kinds of murky, man. It's all kinds of murky.
It is. I don't understand. Let us know. Why is it that what is it because people were expecting like a sunnier output? Maybe is it because in episode or in season 1 we saw, you know, the what's his name? Babalu, right? Babalu was the really good character, and he was your real hero. He's your traditional hero. You know, we had Sweetie, and this season there is no Babalu, there is no Sweetie. You're just amongst wolves, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just jackals, and it's just survival of the fittest.
I think the lesson is when you get in that kind of world, you're not going to be the hero. You're going to be consumed by it. It's going to change you. And it's the active decision that Golu made at the end of beginning of season 2, and the opposite decision that Dimpy made, and all that kind of situation. You know, we're running way long on time. Just mention a few things. Any of these things, you know, pique your interest, let me know. But there's a few other things that happen in this episode. So we have the whole Robin situation, right? We have the whole Dimpy situation. We have, and you're going to lose your mind on this one. First of all, not this one yet. We have the super cop. And he's still brutalizing, He still thinks he's going to get an answer. This guy can sign. This guy can point. This guy can do something. You can hear me, can't you? Okay, that's what I thought. Or what? You can read lips. That's what I thought. And he's just smashing his head. This guy, he's so loyal. He kills himself in the water. That's also have Pandit, who they don't have the permission from the chief minister anymore. So he says, we got to go after Gudu, though. And he's willing to throw his own son to the wolves. You're going to lose your mind on that one. There's so many different storylines. We can't spend forever on each one. Gabe, what are your final thoughts? Which of those do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about, I hated Robin from the beginning. I told you he's a scumbag, okay? And Mr. Pandit goes from trying to go after the Tripathis to now he's going after his own son. Oh, I'll give you a blessing with my daughter if you give me dirt on my son. I want to know about all his dealings. Is he actually going to try to arrest Gudu? You couldn't arrest the real gangsters. You got your son killed. You got your daughter-in-law killed. Your unborn child. But now your altruistic answer is to say, I'm gonna put my only surviving son in jail. You're a scumbag. I hate Pandit more than anybody else because this whole thing is his fault. This whole season, everything that's happened is his fault up until now. And bro, I told you, Robin was a scumbag. Robin was an absolute scumbag, bro. I hope that dude gets killed. I hope he gets killed in the worst way. Just say it.
Is he a scum? I mean, he's a creepy guy for sure. Is he a scumbag, or is he see an opportunity to have Dimpy be his wife? Because he's not. She said point blank, My parents don't give you the blessing. I'm not going to marry you. He either likes her or I'm still not sure if he really loves her. We need to believe that he does, or he just wants to prove to Gudu that I can have any woman I want, even though I might look like this. I have no idea with his glasses and whatnot. Not that he's not a good looking guy, but he's kind of a creepy looking guy, right? The character is. So I don't know what it is with that, but you kind of understand. You want to be with Dimpy, who's a beautiful woman. All you got to do is give up some dirt so you can guarantee that with the father. Done and done. Like, tell him where to sign. He's got no allegiance to Gudu. Gudu tried to go after him a few times, understandably so. So, I mean, this whole show is just so many crazy characters. I can't wait to see what happens in episode 10. Now that we did a review and I don't have any of that, if I had watched it, it would have changed my judgment in this review. I have not seen it yet. Can't wait to check it out. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening to us for 30 minutes. We appreciate it if you lasted the entire time. Thank you so much for that. And until next time.
We know all things.